Hey AJ,
What's up, man?
you got your coffee, you got everything you need for tonight. You all ready to snuggle up and tell bedtime stories and stuffs.
Yeah, I had lots of coffee today. You know why?
Why?
Because I haven't slept in like 4 days,
I know, man. I'm
and
definitely
it's
feeling
great.
the pressure. Yeah,
Yeah, not so much pressure, just fatigue of trying to play so much. There's so many damn games. Uh,
yeah,
yeah,
yeah. I think we're taking a different approach too. Like, the cats told me they're like, well, like Bryan, enjoy this moment, like have fun, and like just take your time and play through them and soak it all in. You've been waiting for this for years, uh, and so I'm trying to do that, but at the same time it's difficult because I'm like, I want to make fucking videos and I want to tell people what I think of every single game and I want to play every single game. But the only way I can do that is really to like play one game at a time and review one game at a time. And then when I have spare time, jump in and play some other stuff. But we're going to talk more about that in just a minute.
let's go.
Let's go. This is PSVR Gamescast Live. We film live every single Monday, Wednesday, into Wise Friday, right here on PSVR Without Parole. We do it live for your viewing pleasure. We also put this thing up on podcast services of your choice, thanks to our good friend Jay Meow. If you like to listen with your ears instead of your eyes, I think that's how most people listen, but you know what? We'll figure that shit out later. My name is Bryan Pavlov, this channel right here, PSVR Without Parole, and this gentleman over here to the right is AJ from
The Underground. PSVR. Underground.
What is up, Brian? You might want to go to a doctor and get that checked out. Bless you. What is up, Brian? What is up, Game Cats? Happy Monday. And I know that Mondays usually suck, but we are here to ensure your Monday sucks. Just a little bit less. Actually, no, in all seriousness,
Yeah.
happy first Monday of having PSVR2.
of the rest of your life.
It feels good, right?
Yeah. Does every day feels better with PSVR2 here, AJ. Every day feels better.
Every minute, every second.
Serial Killer, the Gamecat, a panda ate my PSVR2 box. That makes sense because it's made of bamboo. With a $2 tip says, you don't have Gamecat Dojo. Oh, you didn't have Gamecat Dojo last week. Now I forgot. Yeah, sorry guys. Things have been so hectic. Like you guys know that every Monday we like to give people shout outs for changing their name to something the Gamecat. Not last week, not this week. Shit's just fucking crazy. I promise. We'll get back on a normal schedule next week, and we'll make that a thing. But shout out to Serial Killer for changing his name, and I'm so sorry that a panda ate your PSVR2 box. By the way, if Serial Killer, since Panda ate your box and you have no place to put your PSVR2 anymore, remember this thing that I was making fun of on the last episode, the Collective Minds. I called it a urinal because come on, yeah. But listen, I got to tell you something. I charged my Sense controllers, and again, they sent this to me for free, so take that however you want it. They sent. I charged my Sense controllers on this for the first time today, after using the original, or I'm sorry, the official charging dock prior. And the official one, I don't like the way the controllers rest. It seems finicky. Sometimes it takes a little adjustment to get it on there, and then you got to like look at the controllers to see the charging light. So first of all, the little dongles that you put in your Sense controllers are super magnetic. So the second you drop them in here, it's like boom, they just like fall right into place, and it's perfect. And then on the front here, you see this. That's not just one light. That's two lights. And so it'll turn when you have a controller in here, this side will turn red. You have a controller in here, that side will turn red. And then when this one is fully charged, that side turns blue. And then that side turns blue and the other one's charged. Like it's so much easier and makes so much more sense. And then of course you can rest your headset on it too. Like it's got this whole thing going on here. Love it. I gotta say, like, yeah. I'll make a short video kind of comparing the two charging docks, but this is where you want to put your headset. This is where you want to charge your Sense controllers. This went from something I made fun of to something that I absolutely love.
Yeah. I use the Collective Minds for the PSVR Gen 1, and I still have it. I still use it, and it's so wonderful. And yeah, I absolutely hate that the official Sony PlayStation VR2 one doesn't have a place to put the headset. I mean, my collective minds went for the PSVR one. You could put the headset on it. You could put 2 Move controllers on it. You could put 2 Dual Shocks on it, and it has a hook for the for headphones, pair of headphones. So
Nice.
they absolutely crush it, man. They make really, really good stuff. And like you said, and then it also has the color indicators to let you know when it's charging
Yep.
and when it's full. It's just like boom, full package.
And it's $10 cheaper, and you get so many
And
more
it's
features
cheaper.
out of it, and it works better. So I mean, shocker, or I guess spoiler. I think you know what my review is going to say when I compare these two things. Darth Vader, the Gamecat, with the $10 tip. Oh, by the way, guys, listen, I want to get a little housekeeping out of the way as the show's getting rolling here. If you're not already a member of our Discord community, click that link in the description below. That's where these conversations happen 24/7. If you are excited about PSVR 2, if you love it like we do, and you just want to talk about it all day like we do, that's the place to hang out. So click the link in the description and come hang out with us over on Discord. The other thing, of course, is that my good friend and awesome co-host here, AJ, has his own channel where he's been doing all sorts of PSVR 2 stuff ever since that thing came out. Nonstop live streaming. You just finished Resident Evil 8 live. Amazing, and congratulations. So make sure you subscribe to him as well. Hit the link for that description is in the link for that for his channel is in the description below as well. AJ, we'll get to these tips in a second. We need to talk about Resident Evil 8. Can you without spoiling anything, like tell me how excited I should be to get back to it?
Yeah, you should be really excited. It's quite possibly the best looking game on PSVR 2 I've played so far, and it is just so much fun from start to finish. I absolutely loved it. It was basically everything. A lot of us, we held off. We didn't play it. We didn't play it flat screen. Obviously, we probably wouldn't have anyways. But it was still hard. It was hard to just waiting for the VR version and then trying to avoid spoilers, all those things, and successfully did that for the most part. And yeah, I just finished it today, and I don't know what to say other than it's like nothing short of just like incredible. It's not as scary as Resident Evil 7. I mean, they intentionally designed it that way. It's more because a lot of people were asking, well, how does it compare to Resident Evil 7? And I'm like, well, I feel like it's weird. They're completely different games, but they both focus on the same story. And let me just say, they connect the story really, really well, despite being drastically different in settings and kind of theme. But man, and it actually got me in the feels a little bit in a way, which I was not expecting. Like I was actually kind of like emotionally satisfied with this conclusion of the story, and I was like, wow, I was not expecting that. And let me just one last thing. There are a lot of surprises in Resident Evil Village. I don't know how you're going to like them, but I certainly loved them and thought it was just epic fun, man.
I am so excited to get back to it. Obviously, I've been playing Horizon Call of the Mountain. I finished Horizon Call of the Mountain yesterday, and I've been doing my best to get my review done so I can get that out there and move on. And I'm gonna do my best to kind of like bounce around. Like I'm gonna do some small reviews, like reviews of smaller games, so that I'm not like locked into some 12-hour game again. So we'll see how that works. But it does feel really, really good to have a whole lot of options as we move forward. A couple people in the chat talking about Resident Evil 8. Naughty, what's up? What's up? He says, to hell with RE8. The demo alone made me scream. I don't have time for that.
Yeah, it depends. I love that, by the way. What up, Natty? But it depends on your threshold. Some people are really scared of some things, and if you're sensitive to scary games, yeah, it's going to be scary. Hell, I will say, it got me in several different little parts. Maybe not the parts that were intentionally supposed to be scary, but it got me in a bunch of parts that were just like, I just wound up in these situations where I was like, okay, this is scary as hell. And it's all live streamed to prove it.
Andrew Bailey on topic. The 2 Quid says, no Resident Evil 8 VR trophies. Are you guys disappointed? I have so many questions. First, from what we heard, this VR playthrough, this VR mode, whatever you want to call it, is separate from the actual main Resident Evil Village game and does not support trophies at all. But I'm like, hey, that sucks because I want to go on a trophy hunt. I want to do the same thing I did with Resident Evil 7, which means I want to stream it multiple times on the channel until I get all the trophies. However, what I'm more concerned about is when you finish the VR version of Village, do you still unlock the things that you would unlock so that you can play through the VR version again with new items and new abilities?
You sure can, my friend. And that's why, as much as I didn't like the trophy stuff, as much as I was disappointed about that, I was like, well, you can replay the game. It does unlock like a new game plus. I forget what the mode was called. Like Village Darkness mode or something. I don't remember. But and then like all the guns and stuff I unlocked carry over, all the money that I ended the game with carry over. So I cannot wait to jump back in. It does give you, more importantly, as much as we love our trophies, more importantly than trophies is it does have replay value and just even more depth to it. So get ready because yes, you are going to be able to play it multiple times in VR.
All right. Well, dude, I'm excited. Like I just want to be able to really sink my teeth in and have a reason to play through over and over and over again. I would probably do it anyway if it's a great experience, but knowing that each experience will be slightly different, I'm going to be pretty damn happy about that. Yeah, dude, and I got to say, like, a lot of people out there will say the same thing every time you bring Call of the Mountain up. They will say, too much climbing. Dude, it is absolutely a game about climbing, and that is, and I stopped going back into Horizon when I didn't feel like playing a game that was all about climbing. That was something that like I sort of just had to like learn. Right? It's like if I didn't want to be scared, then I wouldn't go play a horror game. If I didn't want to sim racer, I wouldn't play Gran Turismo 7. Right? And so if I didn't want to climb, I'm not going to play Horizon. It's like they've kind of carved out this genre that that VR is. I mean, we've already kind of got a bunch of climbing games in VR, and this one I'm just going to tell you right now is one of the best climbing games I've ever played, and absolutely a great showpiece for PSVR2 as well. That game is beautiful, as most of you already know, because most of you, I'm guessing, have already played it.
Dude, I totally agree. I mean, that's like saying there's too much climbing in Uncharted, or too much like it's like the climbing is so well done. I mean, and I couldn't agree more that game. Now, granted, I haven't beaten that one yet. I'm like maybe halfway through, I think. But so far, honestly, I was really cautiously optimistic about Horizon. You guys all know it. I was like, well, I'm really afraid that this is going to be more of a showcase thing. But to be honest with you, like the Horizon has really, really blown me away and really surprised me. I mean, the visuals to the gameplay, we speculated all leading up to launch that this looping, this kind of like ring that they put you around was going to be a big problem. Like it was going to make me like maybe not like hate the game, and that's just not the case, man. Like I think the gameplay is really, really fun, and the game is gorgeous. The sound design, the music, and everything. It's really satisfying to play, and I'm very much enjoying it. And has great climbing mechanics.
Yeah, as a game that, like I said, is definitely a climbing game. You said it's kind of like saying Uncharted has too much climbing, but the problem is, AJ, is that I think Uncharted has too much climbing. You know why? Because it's boring on the flat screen when all you're doing is just holding an analog stick in one direction and like tapping an X button to jump, and you're just waiting for him to like reach out so you can tap the X button again. But in VR, you're not tapping X buttons. You're not just holding an analog stick to reach out. You're the one doing it. And so I think very much there's too much climbing in not Horizon. There's definitely climbing in flat screen Horizon games, but there's too much climbing in flat screen Uncharted games, which is why this studio needs to make an Uncharted VR game next, right?
Yeah, sort of. I beg to differ a little bit, just because, when you're climbing just through from a rock to another rock, maybe. But in Uncharted, when you're climbing from a boat that is like capsizing and you're escaping an explosion and being shot at and shooting back, it kind of makes the climbing a little bit more fun. But and that's the thing. That's the thing I noticed. We're talking about these two big games so far, Resident Evil 8 and Horizon. The set pieces, like they have these amazing set pieces that are just visually stunning and just breathtaking views and graphics, and just really something you have to experience in the headset, and just full of adventure and fun, which is what I want.
Yeah, I completely agree. And I don't. I think Horizon is a perfect kind of litmus test to know whether you've kind of got everything set up on your PSVR2 properly. Because if you're walking around and you're like, why doesn't this look good? Why isn't this clear? I mean, it is such a beautiful game. And dude, I feel like, it's only been a few days, right? What's today? Day 5 of getting our headsets. Well, let's just say 5, because I can't do math quickly in my head. Everything has changed.
Maybe 6.
I don't fucking know. And so,
depending on when you got it.
Right. But on day 1, I put it on and I was like, oh, the lenses were resting on my nose, and I was trying to figure out like the perfect position and why isn't this more comfortable? And then as I, kind of got through, the next little bit, I started figuring out ways that I was like, okay, well, this is how it's supposed to rest on my head. And, oh, here's, and here's what I got to do with the sliders and the setup process and whatever else. And now that that's kind of all out of the way, and I'm starting to get used to this thing, like it's just sitting over there, and I'm like, and before the show today, we jumped into a game of Pavlov, which we'll talk about in a little bit, and I had a limited amount of time, so I ran over there and I just threw the thing on, thinking it might not look perfect, but I just got to play, I just got to get in here. I threw the thing on, it looked perfect. I was like, it's very quickly becoming just like PSVR 1 was. It took me a little while to get acclimated to that too. And so now it's on my head. Maybe like a couple turns of the dial back there to kind of clench it a little bit. And man, I'm just in love with the way this thing looks.
It is weird how it seems like I'm putting the headset on and finding that sweet spot a little bit easier now.
Yeah.
Like, I don't understand, because I feel like I'm doing the exact same thing I was when I first got it. But yeah, it just seems like naturally some of the things are kind of smooth out a little bit. And it's like you said, I've seen some people talk about their first experience. They have all these questions like, is this normal, or they maybe think something's wrong. And we saw the first day that somebody was complaining about how horrible it looked and everything. And like, I knew right off the bat that they were probably not wearing it properly, or something, user setup related, because there's, to some degree, yes, there's a way to talk about some of the issues there are, and some of the things that could be improved on in the future. But then there's also comments that I see that I'm just like, okay, this is clearly like on the end user side and not so much the hardware itself. And it's like, you just got to give it a little time to get adjusted to it and get used to it.
Yeah, there's certainly a lot of people out there who haven't been patient. They threw it on and they were like, this looks like shit, I'm returning it. And again, what really makes me sad is that, like, I want to help people out there. I want to, anybody who's out there who's struggling and is trying to figure out, like, why isn't this thing that they've been looking forward to for so long, why isn't it look better, right? And so those are the people I want to help. But the problem is, AJ, is that there's so many trolls out there that are just looking to, whenever a new piece of hardware comes out, whenever somebody's excited about something, there's people out there who want to, like, ruin that person's good time and shit on it. And boy, are there a lot of you out there. And so, and what really sucks, AJ, is that we want to help the people who want help. But there's so many people out there who are not looking for help and only looking to shit on our fun parade that we're having. And so, if anybody out there, like, please, when you reach out for help, like, be nice, right? Because I'm trying to filter out the trolls. I'm trying to be like, I'm not going to sit here and spend 10 minutes talking to this person who I don't even believe wants to fix the problem, who I think is just here to make things seem like they're bad when they're really not.
Yeah, but and you know the thing we want to create here is like constructive criticism, right? Like you don't want to just be that's counterintuitive to that. It's like, yeah, we want to work together to figure out how to solve problems, to figure out what, you know, because like I said, there are issues that are some are even like widespread, it looks like, and that some people are experiencing. And yeah, like, you know, you have to give good information so that everything gets communicated properly, and then that's how you resolve issues. If you can't figure out where the issue is coming from, then it's not going to get fixed. But but for the most part, man, it has been so glorious, so amazing. And yeah, I had really high expectations for this, and I'm still being blown away by it. That's not to say everything is absolutely perfect. There are definitely some issues that I've noticed. There's definitely some little things here and there that I've seen, but the majority of everything, I mean, is just absolutely amazing.
Yeah, absolutely agree. You know, and people have been coming to me, you know, with their problems. So like I feel like I'm fully aware of all the problems that are being kind of found or complained about at the moment. And so yeah, things aren't perfect. But man, I guess I just feel extremely lucky that I wasn't one of those people that didn't encounter any of those problems, because I'm having a blast, like an absolute blast. And every day there's another surprise, AJ. Somehow, every day there's another surprise, like some little thing, whether it be just a game that I wasn't expecting to have fun with, or like I was like, oh, I'm just having fun with the eye tracking in Awesome Asteroids, or you know, some beautiful view in Horizon.
Res Infinite for me.
Yeah,
Res Infinite. But that's the beauty of, and this happened with PSVR Gen 1 as well. This is why I love PSVR so much, is yes, there are certain games that you have high expectations for, and they should live up to those expectations. But there's also so many other games and apps and everything out there that you never expect to be as good as they actually are. And I've certainly found a bunch of new ones like that in this case as well. I think that's you know, there's so many good examples. I think Pavlov is probably the next biggest example that I can think of for biggest surprises. Of course, that's a game I was not, you know, I was again cautiously optimistic going into it. I've heard but I had only heard great things. I hadn't actually played it myself. And then I get in there, and it's just like, I'm just like blown away. I mean, it's silky smooth. It visually, it is so sharp, so crisp, so colorful in different ways. Like, are
we on res?
And it's super fun.
I just want to make sure I'm not missing what conversation we're having. Are we on res?
No, Pavlov. No.
Okay.
I got sidetracked. You were talking about eye tracking. I'm sorry.
No, all good. All good.
But yeah, I was just talking about games that surprised us. Res Infinite, absolutely a big surprise. How beautiful that looks and everything. And I don't know, have you had a chance to use it with the eye tracking yet?
I haven't played Res Infinite yet. In fact, the first time I tried to play it, it just went to a black screen and nothing happened. And I was like, okay, well, so I don't have time to, like, you know, figure this out right now. I will get back to this and we'll see what happens. But dude, I mean, like, I was actually, I didn't expect to be real impressed with any of the PSVR 1 upgrades. I figured, oh, these will just be sharper versions of the games that we had before. Dude, Tetris Effect is crystal clear, right? I mean, it is beautiful. Those particle effects are just like flying around the screen. They go right by your face. The haptics in the headset are amazing. Like, I always liked Tetris Effect, but I'm a Tetris 99 guy. Now I love Tetris Effect, right? And as you switch from level to level, the rumble in the headset goes and just gets,
yeah.
And I love it. Every single time that headset rumbles, I'm like, yeah, man, just keep this up. I love it.
Yeah, I did check out a little bit of that. But I played a lot more of Res Infinite, and I only played Area X. I actually posted a video I posted a video of just using the eye tracking, and like I literally, like I tried not to move my head at all. I literally am just sitting there like, I mean, you have to move it a little bit because you can you can move around in a 3D space in res and in area X, but yeah, I did it, and like, dude, I looked to like the far corner. I mean, like I was almost looking out of the headset and was able to like hit some things, hit some targets. So it works really, really well. It wasn't like perfect. Again, I mean, you don't really. It's a little unfair to expect perfection from anything, right?
Sure.
So, and I think in terms of like maybe some of the consistency with the eye tracking, because I did it, dude. I literally wasted an entire day just trying to make that goddamn video on res eye tracking. It was partially my setup related and partially some other stuff, the hardware. But yeah, like I would say about 90% consistency. There is a little bit of wiggle room there for it to not always work perfectly. But that's pretty damn good.
Nice. Yeah, I mean, if you guys haven't played Strange Games' new game, Awesome Asteroids, it's pretty simple, man. You're out there in space, you're just flying around. It feels good. Newest patch resolved any frame rate issues you might have been having, like I was. Super silky smooth now. One of the first upgrades you get for your ship are missiles, and they are eye tracked missiles. And man, it feels good. It really, really feels good to just because yeah. I don't know, man. Eye tracking is never gonna not be fun. I think, like, even when I'm just like sitting in the horizon menu, I'm just like looking from option to option to option to option to option, just be like blink, 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 blink. I don't know. There's something goofy about it, something childlike, and I don't know, man. It's just really fun to do that.
Eye tracking is very interesting. Obviously, it's mostly used for like the performance reasons, but it is interesting seeing that used as an input for gameplay.
Yeah.
That is something very, very unique to PSVR2, and as is one of my other favorite features, which is the haptics and adaptive triggers. When used properly and executed well, it's like this is something that really creates a unique gameplay experience that is super fun. Did you say that you jumped into Pavlov earlier?
I did.
Yeah. So what did you think about that?
Okay, so I had a limited amount of time, and I was like, we're talking about some launch games that we're excited about, and I was like, you know what, I've heard good things about Pavlov, but it was one of those games that so far had just been like, okay, I'm going to get to it. And today I was like, screw it. I've got like an hour before the show. Let's get to it. And I jumped in with MRI and Stingray and Finn, Darth Vader, and so there's only 4 of us, right? So first of all, I wasn't even getting the full. Getting a full lobby and getting the full experience. But dude, I mean, first of all, I couldn't believe how good this game looks, right? Because Jamie Meow had told me it looks like Firewall good, and he was right. Like, this looks Firewall good. Like the visual quality here is better than I could have expected, but it's also way more fun than I would have expected too. Because we did 3 different game modes. The first one that you're looking at here is when we were playing as zombies, right? And so
I haven't tried that yet.
So one of you is a zombie. You just get like randomly selected, and the rest of you are trying not to get killed by the zombie. It's more as Finn said, a predator mode. One of you is like, you're translucent. You can kind of see him if you're looking for him. But dude, it's so crazy. If it's terrifying to know that one of your friends is stalking you, like, and especially once you've played as the predator. Like, you hold R2 or L2, I believe, to go into that predator vision mode, like the heat vision mode, so you can see your friends that you're stalking and killing.
That's crazy.
You can jump up onto the top of the buildings and shit, so that you can get a drop on them. Like, I mean, dude, this is just one of 10 game modes, and we had so much fun just playing this with only a few people, like not even a full lobby.
Yeah. I think. So just starting from the beginning with Pavlov, like you said, the graphics are really, really good. The performance is really good. It's a very seamless game to get into. There is a little bit of a learning curve with the controls. It does have a little bit of a learning curve there, but then you get kind of used to it. And obviously, I started with just team deathmatch and stuff, and I really, really love. I mean, to me, it's like playing stuff like this is like, well, this is why you don't even like. this is why we don't even really need like a Call of Duty in VR. I feel like, because it's just like it gives me that fix. Maybe I'm missing out something here, but I feel like there is a wide variety of stuff. And then it has this built from the ground up, these VRAF mechanics that we always like to talk about.
Yeah.
We're like, you're manually reloading and you're pulling weapons from your back, from your side, whatever. You physically kneel, you physically prone and everything. Which I would prefer a button, to be honest with you, because I don't mind kneeling.
I mean, unless you're Miles, right? And Miles loves this kind of shit.
But I just feel like the way that they did the gunplay, the gun handling, everything is fantastic.
Yeah.
But let me tell you what the biggest surprise was for me. So I haven't in a very long time been into like a World War II game, but for those who are around for like the beginning of Call of Duty, like the first Call of Duty was a World War II game. It's not all this jetpacks and armored like robot suits that you see today. For some of them, I know I'm exaggerating a bit, but also there was like Battlefield 1942. I was definitely part of when these games launched, and these games were really special to me. And this game has, Brian, a tank team deathmatch mode. And this is where I was like, okay, this game is like next level, because it's a regular team deathmatch mode set in like a World War II setting or whatever. Mm-hmm. But then there's tanks that you can get into. And when you get into these tanks, the way that you operate them is also has these integrated VR mechanics that are very special. To drive, you've got like two levers that you're like pushing and pulling, and that's for like driving and steering. And then to shoot the tank, it's not just like, oh, you press a button and you shoot. No, it's grab a shell, open the hatch, load it in, close the hatch, use these two little like wheels with like a handle that you spin, and then you use that to aim and see, and then you press this button on top and it fires the shell. It's so amazing. And like I was just taking people out left and right. And then you open the hatch, you load in another shell, you close it, you calibrate it or whatever, and then you press that button again. It is just so like, it is just amazing, man. It is so cool how well that was done.
Nice. Yeah, I mean, and that is, again, one of many modes. And it's amazing how much fun they made these because I don't know, man, like I loved the realism of Gran Turismo. I have loved the mechanics, the feeling I'm getting from being up way high in Horizon Call of the Mountain. I love being scared in Resident Evil. But just pure fucking joy in Pavlov, man. Like I'm smiling, I'm laughing like a lot, like because it's just like these ridiculous game modes that, I mean, they're just. I feel like I could spend hours with each of them, right?
I streamed Saturday Night Live stream Saturday, and one of the games picked was Pavlov, and I did play the hidden object mode, and I had never heard of this mode before, which I know I'm like way out of the loop on.
Is this the prop
there's
mode?
A team of hunters. Yes, there's a team of hunters, and then there's a team of. You basically run around and you pick an object, and then you have to place yourself as an object somewhere around the map. And I chose to be like a dumpster or something. And like, so me, like I'm sitting here hiding, and then there's this guy that's like a barrel next to me. And like, we're just like, there's like a button you can hop with. I think you have to keep moving to not make sounds or something. But my first experience with this, I was spectating.
I was wondering why. I was wondering why people would move at all. But yeah, if you make more sounds if you're not moving, okay, that's cool. Good to know.
Yeah, it'll start saying like some random funny stuff. Come on. My first experience was like, I was spectating, and I was just watching this guy hiding as like a ashtray or something. It was like he was like a trash bin, like a trash can, and man, it made me laugh so hard to see this dude chasing a trash can. Like the trash can started moving, was running away, and he's just chasing after him. And the modes are really, really good in that, man. But Pavlov is an excellent game that totally exceeded my expectations, and I can't wait to play it some more.
Yeah, any second here, we should be switching to TTT mode in this video, which is just like Among Us. It's like some people are imposters and some people are innocents. And dude, I mean, like again, there were only a few of us playing, so and I definitely I was the imposter, and I did not wait to do anything secretly. And so again, just that kind of learning experience is fun. It's fun to learn because you do stupid shit, and it's just everyone laughs at you. And yeah, I don't know, man. I'm having so much fun with this.
Yeah, it's kind of like Among Us, but it has some of those like werewolves within mechanics where it's like there's like a detective and like there's people that you can use for the advantages. But well, you briefly mentioned Gran Turismo 7, Brian. Talk about, speaking of some of the most exciting launch games that we can have, and how did Gran Turismo live up to your expectations so far? How is it living up to your expectations so far?
I mean, it was okay.
Yeah, it was all right.
I mean, I still think, and let me know in the chat if you agree with me or not. But I think Gran Turismo 7 might be the most impressive VR game I've ever played, ever. I am absolutely in love with this thing, man. And I know that I'm going to spend. I've already spent close to 100 hours in it, and I'm absolutely going to spend another 100 or 200 hours in it over the course of the next few months. Just even if it's just like every day to get my dailies done and get my daily reward, great. But man, it's so realistic. It feels so good with the racing rig, with the Logitech G29. Is that what it is? G29.
Yeah, that's what you have.
It's like it's a letter and a number, and it's like Agent 40 something or another. Yeah, but yeah, dude, I mean, it's so realistic. Like just being in there and I'm just blown away, man. Gran Turismo is better than I could have ever expected.
Yeah, it's really, really good, and it's not. It's hard to pinpoint like graphically. It's like I'd say like the tracks and stuff you can kind of notice. It's not even every track. To me, it's kind of like I had the same thing with Dirt Rally where like some tracks, some settings, some daytimes and stuff look better than others. It obviously doesn't look like the 4K flat screen mode version, but it's very, very close. And really, when you get in there, when you're racing, I mean, there's so much. There is sometimes so much going on, so much detail, and sometimes it does look on par with the flat screen version in ways like the cars, the reflections, the lighting, and everything. Like it really, really can at times look mind blowing. But to me, it's not even about the graphics with Gran Turismo. It's just the game itself and how fun it is, and just how it can suck you in. I mean, you get sucked into Gran Turismo 7. I was a little bit late to start on that one. I mean, that was actually the first game I played, but I played it for maybe like 30 minutes. And then like it wasn't until like yesterday or the day before that I was just playing it just on my own time. And like I had to play it. The only free time I had was like 12 to 4 in the morning or something, like 2 to 4 in the morning. But it's just the game loop is crazy fun. There's so much to unlock in it, and it's just got a lot of game. It's a big game, and it's super fun and addicting.
Yeah, I agree. This is definitely. I mean, if we were to make a top 25 list right now, AJ, of every PSVR2 game that we've played, and in one to recommend above and beyond any of the others, I don't know if there'd be any argument for me for Gran Turismo at number 1.
Resident Evil Village.
Well, I will play more this week. In fact, if anybody's interested, I think we'd made a decision, or I'd made a decision.
I mean, they're all just that good. That's just a testament to how good these games are.
Yeah. I think as long as nothing crazy happens tomorrow, which I mean anything could happen, but as long as nothing crazy happens tomorrow, I'm pretty sure that I'm going to start live streaming Resident Evil Village from start to finish tomorrow, and do a couple hours a day like you've been doing on your channel, AJ. Except I'm going to probably take my time with it because I'm doing some other editing during my workday. So but I'm not going to be able to hear you guys. I'm not going to hear the things that you're saying during the stream. You guys are, if you want to watch me get scared and watch me experience it, like, totally in the same way that I would if I was playing it all on my own without anybody watching, then that's what you'd be tuning in for, because I really do want to experience this in the absolute best way possible. And I feel like if I'm listening to the chat, I'm not going to get that, and I don't want to ruin this for myself.
Yeah, the only thing that maybe takes away from it a little bit is, like, people can potentially give you spoilers or tell you how to solve things, or kind of give you a heads up when something's going to happen.
Right.
That did happen to me a little bit, not a bunch though, and it's still, man, it's so good, and it's absolutely my favorite game at this time. And like, dude, and it's not even the only game to like completely blow me away either.
Right.
Like there's been quite a few, including, like you said, right now for me, I mean, there's so many, but I'm just like, well, you have to, if you have a PSVR2, like you have to have Gran Turismo 7, you have to have Resident Evil Village, you have to have Horizon Call the Mountain, you have to have Pavlov, and there's just so much, man. There's so many more as well. These are just the ones that I've, like, I think sunk the most time into right now. I'm still getting my mind blown by some of the games I'm checking out.
Agreed. All right, man. We're going to check in with the chat here. They have been tipping like crazy, and I don't want anybody to think.
I posted a bunch in our chat.
Well, let me know if I miss any, AJ, because I've been copying and pasting them over here. Darth Vader, the Gamecat with the $10 tip, says Pavlov is now my favorite PSVR2 title. TTT has made me laugh more than ever before. It's an absolute blast to jump in with friends and have a fun time. Also, pick a better prop, Bryan. Dude, you don't even know. Like, I didn't realize that time had run out. I was running around picking my prop, and I picked a car, and I was like, and I parked right next to the car that I picked, and so it was two cars, and I was like, wait a minute, this is a bad idea. These are two identical white cars next to each other. This is gonna be so obvious. So I started moving across the parking garage, and that's when Finn came around the corner, and we just both froze. I was like, oh wait, he knows. Dude, oh my God.
Good,
it was, I don't think I've laughed that hard in a very, very long time, man. Very long time. Thank you, Finn. We've got Looper, the Underground Gamecat, with the €5, says, I was able to play Smoke on the Water in Resident Evil 8, Horizon, and Star Wars. I was able to play Smoke on the Water in Resident Evil 8, Horizon, and Star Wars? What does that mean?
So, Resident Evil 8, there's a piano.
Oh.
Horizon, maybe the flute.
Oh, yeah. Right.
And then, what was the other one?
Star Wars.
I don't remember the instrument. Play it on the dartboard, maybe?
That's kind of funny, though.
But you can play it on each one, yeah.
That's really good. I didn't know we had another musician.
You are a man of many talents.
Let's see who else we got here. We've got Jim Perono with the $2. Says, Resident Evil 8 haptics equal beautiful, terrifying immersion. I do love the, I mean, I know I said it before when I first tried it, but man, the haptics when you fire the shotgun in Resident Evil 8 makes your whole body shake. I love it.
Yeah, I feel like it made the headset rumble in the shooting range, but it didn't for the rest of the game. I don't know if I was just I don't know if I was just like into the game so much that I didn't notice it, but yeah, the haptics and everything, the gunplay is super good, and I knew it was going to be, because that game just, has a wide variety of weapons. When it comes to like the haptics and stuff too, the adaptive triggers, haptics, Runner does an excellent job. Runner is a pure shooter from like, you're like on a motorcycle, and it's kind of like an arcade shooter with like that late 80s aesthetic to it. And their haptics and adaptive triggers are just like masterfully done. It feels so good, and I also really love that game.
Yeah, I'm liking it so far. Sadistic Sea Beast in the chat with the New Zealand $4 tip says, Runner is a great, cheap, fun game. Yeah, for what, $15?
Perfect segue.
It's
$15, man. Yeah.
Doesn't we're moving away from the $20 game, right? Like the $20 game doesn't quite exist like it used to. That used to be the standard price for so many indie games, and now they're like 25 and 30 or 35. And so with Runner being under 20, very good deal. Unintended Studios.
Yeah, and
sorry.
One more thing on Runner. Great price point for that. What was I going to say though? That game, if anybody love Super Nintendo, by the way. That game gives me, I don't know if anyone else, but that game gives me mad Super Nintendo vibes. Like, I don't know why, but maybe it's the soundtrack, something about the visual art style, something about maybe it's colorful and you're shooting robots. Maybe it reminds you of like Mega Man X or something. That game gives me the biggest SNES vibes ever for some reason, and I love it.
That's really interesting.
Maybe it's just the nostalgia. Maybe because it's based off of like late 80s stuff. And maybe it's just like nostalgia that I feel that way, but I don't know what it is. But
maybe it's because here in the States, we never got a good Akira game. Like they got games based on that anime in Japan, but I don't think we ever got one here in the States. So maybe you're just finally getting the game that you wanted on Super Nintendo all the way back then.
Yeah.
This would have been great with Mode 7. Absolutely. Unintended Studios with the $5 tip says, on my third VR run of Resident Evil 8, I'm so jealous of Unintended Studios right now. It's definitely lived up to my expectations. Just wish it wasn't so forward heavy. Doesn't play well with long hair easily. What's forward heavy?
I don't know.
I mean, the headset? Is the headset forward heavy? Because...
yeah, maybe you're talking about the headset?
Because that describes the Quest perfectly, right? It's like all this weight on the front of your head that's like being suctioned to your face. This is not that. This the halo strap that goes around your head. That's where all the pressure should be, right? That's where any tightness should be, and then the visor should be like fucking lightweight as hell, right? And
it's super comfy. It feels like PSVR but lighter.
Yeah,
like that's basically the only way I can describe it. Is it feels exactly like PSVR, just lighter somehow.
But it doesn't play well with long hair easily. I wonder. I feel like I'm missing something. But excellent. If you clarify in the chat, we'll definitely keep an eye out for your comment on Unintended Studios. The Bell Ramio, the Gamecat with the €6 says that even I finished Village in VR, only because I did it in flat earlier though. Was still scared.
Nice.
Not Short Brondo with the $5 tip says, I played Resident Evil 8 flat when it came out, and there was still that sense of awe when coming up the hill and saw the whole area sprawled out in front of me.
Oh man,
dude,
you don't even have to wait. You don't even have to wait that long. Like within the first like 10 minutes, you come over this hill and you see the village and the castle in the background, and it's just like, holy shit! Like, is this real? It is so. Oh, it is just ridiculously beautiful,
dude. So I mean, I got that in the menu screen, right? When I went to the menu screen and then saw like how sprawling it was, and I looked down and like the textures on the ground were super sharp, and I was like looking around, being like, oh, this is why we didn't get it on PSVR 1, because even the menu screen wouldn't have been possible. Like Resident Evil 7 was perfectly built for PSVR 1 because it was so many like hallways. And the basement, and even Marguerite's section when you're out, it doesn't the stuff in the background doesn't matter all that much. So I can't wait to get further into Village to kind of like experience that, because I think I kind of experienced that in the menu screen, but actually like walking through an area like that is going to be fucking mind blowing. I can't wait.
Yeah, and there's a lot of things I will say in that game too that they actually like design it well. There's some things where it's like, okay, this was kind of like a compromise to be able to get the game in VR. Like kind of like how Resident Evil 4 on the Quest would go like third person. This doesn't go third person, but it does do some things. It's like, well, this is what they had to do to get it into VR and to make people not sick. There's also things in the game where it's like, I don't see how they would have made this without VR. Like, this seems like this was made for VR, like this moment in the game. And yeah, oh God, it's so impressive, man. It's so impressive. It's ridiculous.
We've got Griffin VR with the $5 tip says, everyone needs to play through Resident Evil 8, regardless of whether you like scary games or not. It's much more of an action adventure and an essential VR experience.
Yeah, let's just tell everybody that.
So
they go out and play it.
I hear people saying, I shouldn't say I've heard people saying, I certainly saw at least one person commenting that something along the lines of like, screw Half-Life Alyx, this is the definitive VR adventure. And so again, I having not played Alyx, hoping it would come to PSVR2, I'm very, very excited to finally play that game at some point whenever it gets announced. But now, I mean, yeah, I'm more excited than ever to play through Village. I think there's motorcycles racing outside my apartment, which is not a good idea.
Yeah. Yeah, some games are gonna obviously. This is what I'm noticing is like some games that are built from the ground up for VR, they're gonna have the edge in terms of like just every last little detail. I mean, in a Horizon, you can rub the grass and the grass moves. Like you can seriously just wave it. I pet so much grass in my stream of Horizon. I think about 15% of the stream is just me just rubbing the grass going, oh, like wow, it feels so good. And it's like haptics and stuff. But like, on the flip side of that with Resident Evil Village, I mean, it's just the way it translates overall and just the game itself is just incredible. And you get this huge game and there's lots of VR interaction as well. It's just you can't go around touching every last piece of grass.
I mean,
and feeling it.
Do whatever. Yeah,
but is that like really like that's great, but it's a great technical thing, but it's like it's not going to make a good game at the end of the day.
Nihilus Ryan, the game feline with the $5 tip, says, tripped on my PSVR2 wire and the USB-C snapped off in the PlayStation 5. Cats, invest in a 40 Gbps, gigabytes per second, magnetic USB-C adapter. Don't make the mistake I did. Holy shit. Yeah, don't do that.
Pouring out for the homie.
Yeah, for real. For real.
I don't want to do that because I'll just pour it in my lap, and I don't want to do that.
Yeah, don't do that. Really sorry to hear that, Nihilus Ryan. I hope that detachable wire comes in handy when it's time to replace it. Let us know what happens. I'm assuming that you're dealing with Sony to try to get that thing fixed.
I'll probably just send it into Sony.
Gaming with the one and only. I have to read that slow every time. But the $5 tip says, great wireless buds are Soundcore VR buds. They work perfectly with PSVR2. 3D audio works great. 4 to 5 hour battery life. Firewall Ultra will be great with them. Dude, I'm still using the included earbuds. And I'm like very, very happy with the sound quality. And maybe I'm just, not attuned to some of the finer details. Maybe I'm old and I don't hear the details as well as I used to when I was young. So I used to listen to a lot of loud music. And I know that one ear definitely doesn't hear as well as the other. But I'm very happy with the earbuds. I don't want to charge my headphones.
When I'm streaming, I use the earbuds and they're fine. But when I'm not streaming, I use the Pulse headset. And I was a little uncertain at first, but then I actually configured my own settings for it.
Yeah.
Because you can build 3 different audio profiles for it. And I have this one that I set, and it is just, it is perfect. It works for just like any game, it seems like, and just sounds beautiful. I love bass. I love lots of bass. And, but I also like, the highs are really important too. The Pulse headsets are doing really nice for the price, I would say.
Yeah. I like bass too. I like rhythm and bass and harmonicas. Big Bob Dylan fan. Doesn't do a lot of bass stuff though. BitJelloBoy30, that jiggly Gamercat with the $10 tip says, so many great games to play. Loving the changes to our PSVR1 titles like Synth Riders and Tetris Effect. I can't stop playing the Light Brigade though. So much fun. You guys rock. Light Brigade seems awesome, dude. I've only played a little bit of it, but I can see the gameplay loop being very addictive, very until you fall, very... not the Persistence. What's the other game I was going to compare it to? I don't know, but I want to spend some serious time with that game soon.
It's pretty incredible how some of these games that have a more stylized art style, like the Light Brigade or like Synth Riders, they, because of the OLED screen and higher resolution, higher refresh rate and everything, this art style of game actually works really, really well with PSVR. I mean, it's like I was talking about, like with Res Infinite as well. The colors, man, just pop. And like the brights are super bright. The blacks are super black. And I've played only about 45 minutes of Light Brigade, but I didn't even want to stop playing it. Yeah. Another one I did for my Saturday stream. There are a couple little tiny bugs with it right now, but they've actually got a patch that's already been submitted. So I'm looking forward to that being fixed. But that was one, yeah. I think when it was first announced, I was like, and then people started saying, hey, it's actually pretty good. And I was like, okay, I'll keep an eye out for it. And then I played it. I'm like, okay, I can see this being pretty awesome as it goes forward. I've only played 45 minutes of it, but to me, it's kind of like in death, but better, honestly.
Man, now it's Ryan in the chat, following up on the broken cable, says Sony wants half the price of the headset to fix the wire. Man, that's highway robbery. Very sorry to hear that. That blows. We got a couple more tips, then we can talk about a few more things. Jankicon with a $10 tip says, love the show. Thanks for all you do. Any advice for people who have ceiling rails? The down-facing wire, it makes it almost impossible. Also worried about damaging the wire. Ceiling. Why are people saying shit that I've never heard of today? What are ceiling rails?
I have no idea what ceiling rails are.
That makes me feel slightly better.
And I don't know what ceiling rails are, and I don't know how that pertains to a PSVR2.
Hold on, I'm Googling
on the ground.
rails.
We're going to learn something today, guys. We're all going to learn something together. If you don't say it within 2 seconds, then you Googled it. So don't pretend like you know what it was either.
I mean, it looks... I don't know how this would pertain to... Any advice for people who have ceiling rails? The down-facing wire is making it almost impossible. Also worried about damaging the wire.
A pulley system? For cables, for pulley? I don't know, man. Put your PS5 on the ground or on a stand. Get your PS5 off the ceiling.
They're talking
That's
about
my answer.
Okay, they're talking about the pulley system.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, right. So right now, I my pulley system is set up for PSVR1. I have not gotten my PSVR2 rigged up to my pulley system yet. It's no problem whatsoever, right? Like, I mean, it's one wire, and it's it even more so than PSVR1. I don't even know that it's there.
Jenkins says, sorry, pulley. What do he say? He says pulley. Sorry, I don't know the terms.
Okay.
We didn't either.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, like, I don't know what you could do without seeing like your actual living space, right? I mean, if you want to invite me over, we can call a contractor and see what the options are. But yeah,
Get you an estimate.
Yeah, I would. I mean, but yeah, I mean, even looking at ceiling rails online and seeing like what they're showing me they are, it looks like you could still have a pulley system go through there. But obviously, you got to do what's right for you.
Yeah, I don't use a pulley system or anything. I just do it. But you can. It has been confirmed that you can use an extension cable with the PSVR2. So, if you want to like run it to like the back of the room or something, you can maybe use an extension cable solution.
Doomer 1992 with the $2 tip says, "What's up? After the fall haptics, immersive, or head haptics, immersive, nice." Yeah, actually, the thing I recognized most about After the Fall when I was playing that was how good the weapons felt, right? Like, I mean, everything felt really, really impactful. Every single shot from every single weapon was dunk, 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 dunk. It just felt good to take down the Snowbreed. 2 levels in, I was bored again. But still, like, at least while you're playing it, it feels about as impactful as it can get. So good shit.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Miles asked me to come play with him, and then I had to do the tutorial again because it's a new version. And then I never heard back from him. I think he ditched me. So I only played the tutorial.
Pat Matrix COD with the Canadian $5 tip. I don't know when this tip came through, Pat Matrix. I'm so sorry because I don't know what game you're talking about. It says, I already finished the game. I'm skeptical about playing the game again without the element of surprise. Must be talking about RE8.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I feel like that's one. I feel like I could have a different experience, but I think different parts could scare me.
Well, I mean, it's a free update, so like, go try it. Start playing it, give it an hour, and if you don't like it, then fucking you didn't lose any money, right? Like, I mean, you already bought the game. You probably still have it. Give it a shot.
Yeah, it is a free. That's right. That's a good point. It is a free update.
Yeah, easy answer. And then final tip, Dutch DJ with the €2 says, smash that like button. Thanks, Miles. I think Miles is really Dutch DJ. Yeah. Oh, except you got cold yogurt. I'm sorry.
Wait, no, it's you got cold yogurt.
That's what I was waiting for. With the $5 tip says, I have a confession to make. I'm the only person in the U.S. to buy Kazuna AI Touch the Beat.
I appreciate your honesty.
I feel like we're in a confessional. Are we priests?
You know the cats are trying to collaborate and fund, work together to fund. They're trying to fund me getting that game so that they can request it for Saturday. We have all these new games, and this is what they want to see.
Sounds horrible.
Me playing this game.
Sounds horrible.
Yeah.
They do like to torture you, and thankfully, AJ, they're going to soon have another way to torture you, because if you guys don't know, if you're new to the channel, on AJ's Saturday Night Livestream, one of the most requested games was always Dread Halls. And AJ loves that game. And just recently, I talked to the developer over there at White Door Studios, and he confirmed with us that Cosmodread, the follow-up game, Cosmodread, takes place in space on a space station. Dude, I played this on Quest 2. I would say it's almost, if not more scary than Dread Halls. Cosmodread is a great game, and it's coming to PSVR2. It will not give me a release window, but it sounds like the porting process has begun. I'm so excited because watching you be scared is one of my favorite things, AJ.
That game is so scary. Dread Halls just really has my number, and I'm not looking forward to this, and not looking forward to it being requested every Saturday. Although I will say, in its defense, I still think Dread Halls is a great game.
Oh yeah.
So at least it's that. I do love playing great games. The stress, the anxiety, what it does to me, like physically and mentally, is probably not healthy. So think of my health, guys, and have my health in mind, please. When Cosmodread comes out to PSVR2.
Think of his health. Yeah, think of his health. Right. Don't request Cosmodread. Request Kazuna AI. Touch the beat.
Maybe Cosmodread would be better for my health.
Move Master Mick, this shape throwing PSVR Gamecat with the 5 quid says, anyone getting headset drift on Gran Turismo 7? Steering wheel is a foot away from the center of my wheel before the race finishes. Any tips to stop this? No, because I haven't experienced that. Talk to me.
This is the same tip I have for everything, man. Make sure you go through your whole process of troubleshooting first. And I'm not saying you haven't yet, but I know a lot of people, they experience something once, and then they go online and start talking about it without doing basic troubleshooting. Restart your PS5, restart your headset, change something in the environment, clean your lenses, make sure there's no gunk on your cameras, make sure you have enough lighting, make sure you're doing all the basic troubleshooting steps first, and be thorough about it. Then, if every single time you do it and it's still happening, then you have some kind of issue.
I do like the lighting suggestion, because the lighting suggestion, I've only experienced minimal tracking issues, not with the headset, not at all yet, which is thankful. But I have like studio lighting in here, which I only turn on for things like when I'm streaming or when I'm doing this. And so it wasn't until after I was done streaming that I kind of turned the lights down nice and low, like the way that I like, where I had any issues whatsoever. And it was very, very minimal. It was like one time I reached for a bow and nothing happened. I was like, where's my hand? And boom, everything was back. So then I turned the lighting back up and everything was great. So I think lighting is the number one thing you should be looking at before anything else. Make sure there's enough lighting, because that's part of what tracking is all about.
It is required.
Yeah, keep that in mind. But I've never experienced. I haven't experienced anything like what McMaster.
That's something I used to maybe experience on PSVR 1 when and it was setup related. It was always setup related, and I could fix it. Aside from a bug
move. Yep. But let us know. This is all really new to us too, guys. Right? When people have messaged me or commented on my videos and being, so you're just going to ignore the problem with the controllers. You're just going to ignore this. You're going to pretend like this isn't a problem. Well, first of all, any problem that anybody's having is you're not in the majority, right? The majority of us are having a great time. Everything worked out of the box, right? And right now we're still listening to everybody and trying to hear, like, is this just an issue one person is having, or is this an issue that more than one person's having? And then because we can't just like address everything, right?
And we're also not Sony support,
right?
But we try to help, because we do gather lots of information because we hear it from so many people,
right?
But yeah, keep in mind, it's not our profession to know every last thing all the time immediately.
Right. It's gonna take some time. I feel like we were pretty fucking good PSVR1 experts, so like by a few years in, and I'm looking forward to being able to help anybody that comes to us and says, "Why is this happening? Why is this happening?" Right now, we're still new too, right? Like we've had this thing for not very long, and I'm excited to know more about it and learn more about it. Obviously. J Rock with a $7 Canadian tip says, "Do you know if there's going to be any more Astro Moss like games coming to PSVR2? They were my favorite, just amazing." I would absolutely say there's an Astrobot game coming. Sony has not said much about their future PSVR2 plans. We don't know what most of their 23 studios are doing. It's going to be all but guaranteed that we get an Astrobot game. I would say sooner rather than later.
If I had to guess, I think Astrobot is being worked on as we speak. And man, I cannot wait to play Moss Book 1 and 2 on PSVR 2. I haven't done that yet. I've been like really wanting to. I know I've played through those games a few times already, but I'm just so looking forward to experiencing them again. With the way, well, I don't want to spoil anything, but I don't think Moss ends at book 2. Going by the way that it ends, it's a very it is kind of an ambiguous ending, but something tells me it's not the last one.
There's so many more tiny little mouse sticks to suck, AJ. There's so many new members that are like, what the fuck is he talking about?
Yeah, what did you just say? It's a really old joke that should have stopped being said a long time ago.
It's never gonna end. Never gonna end. And then finally, we got Looper the Underground Gamecat with the €5 says, to me, Cosmodread was less scary than Dread Halls because it's much more predictable. Huh. Well, I haven't spent nearly as much time with Cosmodread as I have with Dread Halls, so I'm going to trust your opinion, Looper, and we will see when it gets to PSVR 2 how much scarier it is, if not. Delgado in the chat. Whoa, NSFW, Brian. All right, man. So listen, I feel like you and I have addressed this already. Obviously the main topic of the show is, has PSVR 2 lived up to the hype? What is your short, concise answer to that question, as if we haven't already addressed it?
Yeah, it definitely has for me. Like I said, there's definitely some things that to me, it's amazing. Like, it really, really is. I mean that. Like, that's just like how I feel about it. The hardware is amazing. The games are amazing. And this is just launch. Like, I'm still in shock that a lot of people were saying Horizon is the only launch game, because like, it's not even my favorite game right now. And there's so many other games that are really blowing me away. And there's more games I haven't even played yet. I mean, I have 40 games and I still have like maybe 10 or 15 that I haven't played yet. And, you know, some of them I've only spent just literally like 20 minutes with. So there's a lot of awesome things about it. Is everything, like I said, is everything perfect? No, but I think most of my complaints, or most of the things that I want to see, can be solved from the software side or a firmware update side. I feel like it's amazing, and I feel like it can only get better, potentially.
I agree. I mean, you know, like, talking to developers, they'd already told me that, like, especially people who know what they're talking about. Like, not every developer knows what they're talking about, but the ones that I talk to, I feel like I can trust. If you knew who they were, you would trust them too. But they're like saying, we're not going to see the full potential of PSVR 2 headset for like 2 to 3 more years, right? By the end of 2025, 2026. Like, you know, so if you think things look good already, they're just going to keep looking better. And as you know, I was talking to Wes as I was making that how to fix the PSVR 2 blur video. And I was asking about Mura and how that all works, and he was talking about other headsets that have maybe not fixed but improved the Mura situation on the software side. So it's not like hopeless. If somebody's out there and it's like, I just can't take it, it's too grainy. Well, this isn't like, these are launch titles. This isn't the be all end all of PSVR2, right? This is just the fucking beginning. And like the fact that just the fucking beginning is way better than I even imagined. And I'm like the biggest fucking PSVR2 optimist out there. I was like, this is going to be so great. I can't wait, blah, blah, blah. And then I put the thing on, right? Blown away.
Yeah. I've been trying to pay attention to the things people are talking about. People are, the concerns about. I'll be honest with you, man, with this Mura thing, I don't know how you say it, Mura.
Whatever. I feel like we shouldn't say it at
all. No, because the thing is, but what I will say is that like because I'm trying to be open-minded, right?
Of course.
Like I'm trying to be open-minded. I'm trying to hear people out. I don't want to be just completely in my own bubble and pretend like when there's issues that they don't exist. Does this matter to me? No. But to me, the God's honest truth, I swear this is the absolute God's honest truth, is like this Mura thing that people are talking about. I hardly see it when I'm like looking for it. Like I am going out of my way to look for it, and I'm hardly noticing it. So I think it's getting blown out of proportion way hard. Okay. In terms of this conversation around this thing.
Yep.
And it's like you said, some of the things, the blurriness, it's like it's 9 times out of 10 has been like either user error, people's eyes adjusting, people need to adjust the headset a little bit, all sorts of things. Give it a little bit more time. But this Mura thing, I actually tried to look into. There's only one game that I have been able to notice it in, and it's not even in the full game. It's only in like certain parts of the game. I have noticed it. It is a real thing. I finally understand.
It is a real thing. Literally confirmed.
But it is real. But I had to look so hard for it, and it wasn't even like in the full game. It was just in a certain part, a certain color combination in a certain game, and that's where I saw it.
Yeah. Visor Republic in the chat says, my Mura is barely noticeable, but it's different on every display. It's different on every different VR headset you try, but it's not different on every PSVR2. What's causing the difference is people's perception of things. Everybody's eyes are different. Everybody's going to find things that are noticeable that other people won't. I was playing Awesome Asteroids, right? So if you guys haven't played Awesome Asteroids, when I first checked it out, the frame rate stuttered for me. When I was just moving left and right, stuttering, right? I talked to Reggie over at Strange Games, and he goes, he's like, I haven't seen that at all. I talked to other people. I talked to Albert. No one sees any stuttering at all, right? Everyone's like, it's totally fine. One other person said they saw stuttering, but most of the people we talked to were like, no problem, whatever, everything's great. And then Reg found out what the problem was. It was like this physics thing, and when he fixed it, he's like, it is smoother now. And I tried it, and I was like, it's silky smooth now. The patch went live. Everything's great. But, like, how many people didn't notice that, right? For Reg and Boss over there at Strange Games to not notice the entire time it was in development, for all these other people to play it at launch, not notice it. People are susceptible or they perceive things differently, right? So just keep that in mind. If you're one of the people out there and you're jumping up and down screaming, this thing's fucking blurry, the Mura's terrible, everything's grainy, it's trash, and you guys are fucking liars. No, you're just perceiving things differently than we are. You're seeing them differently because your eyes are different than ours. Everybody's eyes are different. And so that's all it is. And I feel very fortunate that I pop on that headset and everything looks great. I see the Mura, but you know what? I don't fucking focus on shit that is practically imperceivable when I'm running around and climbing mountains in Horizon Call of the Mountain, right? I focus on the game. I'm not trying to pick apart every single little technical flaw. And so, and I think that's another difference between people too. Some people just want to have fun and enjoy what we got, and some people are looking to tear it down in any way they can.
Well, it's crazy to me that, some people would be so sensitive about it too. Like if this one thing is there, it's like they're so honed in on it that they're letting that like ruin their entire experience. it's like you said. I don't even think everyone necessarily has bad intentions when they talk about that thing. It's just like, really, like, you know, compared to what you get elsewhere,
Yeah.
it's like all the things you can complain about there, and then this is the deal breaker. Like it does
Right.
kind of sound like you're just looking for something to try and call like a deal breaker.
Right. What are we
But,
comparing it to? Are we comparing it to the PSVR1? Are we comparing it to the Quest 2? What was the last headset?
yeah,
Right.
I mean,
And we didn't complain about all the things on those. Like, it just, I mean, were people expecting absolute 100% perfection in a consumer affordable $500, $550 headset?
Yeah, I mean, and maybe that's the thing is, the information is new. Maybe people don't know what to expect. Maybe they're setting their expectations unrealistically.
Yeah.
And then when they get it, they're like, oh, so that's why it's our job. Unfortunately, we didn't get review headsets. But that's why it's been our job we've taken the job of trying to convey as much accurate information as possible always. And we're not always going to get it perfect, but
Right.
But yeah, like Aceville mentions, like this Murrah thing in Thumper, that was the first time I ever noticed it.
Absolutely.
I think in my life was Thumper, but it's literally when only the background is red. Like the rest of the game, it is like not there or like hardly visible.
Which means I notice it more than you do, because I can see it in every game if I look.
Yeah,
absolutely.
You see it in every single game.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, I have no idea. Yeah, like you said, I mean, you have 20/20 vision though.
Nope.
I have astigmatism. Maybe that gives me an advantage or something.
I don't have 20/20 vision, but
I thought you did.
No, I think I did when we started this channel. Staring at monitors in VR for fucking 7 years straight changes things. And I do want to make it clear. Like RG in the chat says, so what? We can't complain about anything? No, dude. I think you fucking missed the entire point of the entire show so far, right? Like we want everything to get better. We want everything to be great. We want to help everybody with their problems. But like there's also like
misinformation, stuff blown out of proportion,
and just chill, right? Like can we? Is anybody interested in having a good time, or just me? Because if it's just me, then fucking I'll keep having a good time, and whoever doesn't want to have a good time, see you later. Yep. But yeah, there's problems, man. We can talk about them. But when that's the entire narrative that's out there, I think that's fucking bullshit. There are
overlooking.
There are channels. There are journalists. There are people that like refuse to talk about any of the positives, right? And so we're here. We want to make sure we address those things, as we have been for a good chunk of the show. But then also but talk about how much fucking fun we're having, right? There's a huge difference between saying this thing is trash, it's blurry, I'm sending it back to Sony, as a lot of fucking people have done in the comments, and saying this thing yes, obviously it's not perfect, but we are loving our time with it. It's a completely different situation. So that's what we're doing.
Or being like, or calling like the wire a deal breaker, or saying like, oh, I'm getting tangled up in the wire.
Right. It's silly.
Like, yeah, it's, but yeah, man. No.
Thumper is amazing, by the way.
I didn't. Yes, it is, and I didn't even want to bring that thing up, but it has been a topic of something stuff. So, but yeah, I mean, when you talk about just like I said, the OLED screen, what that does, the HDR, and what that does for the colors, how black the blacks can get, how bright and colorful the colors can get. Obviously, the 120 refresh rate for some of the things that do that. How comfortable the headset is, the amazing haptics and adaptive triggers when used properly. Obviously, that's like a game-by-game basis. But just the combination of what you get is amazing piece of hardware, amazing software for it, amazing launch games. It's been a thrill so far, and I feel like we're just getting started.
Yeah. Agreed. Jay Meow in the chat with the $5 tip says, let's take a moment to appreciate that Gran Turismo 7 in VR2 is the best video game ever made. It's the perfect game. Also, Quill sucks tiny little mouse sticks. I mean, I think Gran Turismo is pretty fucking perfect. And that comes from a guy who's not a sim racer fan at all. Right?
It's incredible, man.
Loving this thing. Loving it.
Yeah. It's such a... Yeah, it's just it's a great game, but like the experience of it hasn't like worn off yet. Like every time I jump in there, I have like an experience. and it's just so good.
Cecil Miko, hope I pronounced that right, with the $5 tip, says Synth Riders has an ultimate edition with all the current music packs for a large discount. My son bought the standard version. Now I'm trying to get a refund. Synth Riders is really, really good about helping people out. If Sony doesn't give you the refund, maybe you can talk to some people over at the Kluge team, and you can work around Sony a little bit. But yeah, keep us posted on that one. Spitfire with the $10 tip says, hey, gents, keep up the awesome work. Love it. Has anyone had an issue with the Right Sense remote not registering? I have to put a pin in to hard reset it, then it will work. Feedback?
I've only heard about this, so I know it's a thing. But again, yeah, I don't know how widespread it is, but yeah, there definitely seems to be sometimes people losing. Like their controller doesn't work, they reset it. They have to reset it with the pin. I mean, you said it all there.
Yeah, I mean this is definitely an issue. I've heard it from multiple people. Have you tried resetting both controllers? Because it sounds like if you reset both controllers and reset the console, you might have better luck. But if you're only resetting one of them, I'm not sure if that's going to like fix the problem. Try that. Obviously. Again, like we said, we don't have all the fixes yet, but we'll definitely be listening to everybody and try to be able to help you guys out when we get a little bit more information. Double M Gaming with the $2 tip says, why none of my PSVR games are allowing the save files to transfer over? Game by game basis. After the Fall did it automatically for me, and then Thumper asked me if I wanted to transfer it. So I've been having pretty good luck so far, but it's not going to be universal.
Yeah, Rez, Thumper, and I think Tetris transferred over. Oh, and No Man's Sky. Swordsman didn't. After the Fall hasn't for me yet. I don't know. Did you say After the Fall you can transfer it? Your save?
I feel like After the Fall gave me all my weapons. It didn't even ask me to transfer. I could be wrong. I went in. I played one round of After the Fall. I went into the weapon room. I thought all my shit was there. I don't know. I just grabbed a couple of guns and headed out. What are you doing? Sergeant Frosty with a $2 tip gives us coffee. Thank you very much. Frosty, I saw you on the Dark Angel stream. It was nice to see you up there, or hear you up there and hear you talk. A lot of great memories that were shared that day. Ben Dawson with the $5 says, Bryan did not get a review headset because he's a very naughty boy. He's not the Messiah.
He is a naughty boy.
I mean, I guess I'm a little naughty, but I did not get a review headset. That is definitely true. So I'm playing catch-up, and I'm going to be playing catch-up for quite a while. So anybody who's looking for reviews on a lot of games, it's going to take a little bit. I got to play those games first. And so I'm 2 weeks behind the rest of the world. And then we'll get J-Rock's tip, and then we'll move on to the next topic. J-Rock with the Canadian $7 tip says, if you wear glasses, it works great, but try contacts for me. It looks 100% better. Also, left sense controller drift to the left right out of the box. You're not alone.
Yeah, to me, I haven't had any drift issues, but I have, really good lighting. I think anything I ran into, there was actually a time today in Resident Evil Village, come to think about it, but I think that was software related, like a visual software thing. If it was happening across multiple games, it'd be something I'd be concerned about. But also I noticed, like, if I think I don't remember what I was doing. I was somehow blocking one of my cameras, and that will certainly cause it as well. If there's blocking or some kind of, those cameras have to be able to track your controllers. So
it's actually, an excellent point. Like, inside out tracking is way better than the light tracking that we had, but it still requires the cameras to see the controllers. And I gotta say, man, like, I'm very, very happy with the tracking. I've been trying to break the tracking, and I have not had any luck doing so.
Yeah.
So
I heard people talking about maybe Horizon, but yeah, I haven't had any issues. I mean, I spammed the arrows, like, and again, lots of this is on live stream, so you can see it. But yeah, like, I tried as hard as I could to break it, and I couldn't. So I always think it's like you said, man. People have different eyes, eyesights. You can adjust the headset, differently. Like, there's so many different settings for it, different lighting setups, different room setups, and there's just a billion things to factor in. So it's like, there are some things that is like everybody has that's the same, um, but I've had a pretty consistent experience so far for the most part.
Yeah, me too, man. Me too. And you know, I hope I'm not coming off as like agitated or irritated at all because I'm having a blast. I'm having a good time. It just sucks that like, when we're the PSVR2 guys, we are the focus of a lot of people's anger. And right. And so I feel like all day, every day, it's like I've got people coming to me like constantly, either trolling or complaining or asking for legitimate help. And it's a lot, and I love you guys so much. And I really, really hope that you can keep coming to me and I can keep helping you. But just please understand where I am right now. I'm working, 14-hour days to try to, to get this content out to you, to try to get fixes out. That blur video took a little while and I was trying working with the community to make sure that we could answer as many questions as people had. And so it's just, the stress is at an all-time high. And so please be very, very patient with me for the rest of my life. Please. We're going to get to more tips later because we got to talk about some of the news that's been going on. AJ, how excited are you that I can't believe these words are even going to come out of my mouth, but the fact that Poker Stars is now coming.
First of all, where did you get this from? Where did you get this from? I want to know.
Well, if you look over here to your left, my right, you will see the PlayStation Store page.
There's a closet. There's a closet over there.
The PlayStation
and my PS5.
Well, maybe you should look in the closet.
there's no article or no information that helps.
Because Poker Stars VR is officially listed on the PlayStation Store, and is listed as a PSVR2 game.
I mean,
it's on the screen right now, AJ. You have to look at.
Is that the only thing we're going off of?
What more proof would you like?
That's the same proof that we had
before. No. We had trophy support last time.
Oh, so we had even more reason to believe last time.
Yep.
No, I mean, it seems like a given, right? Like, unless they have like an exclusive deal with Meta, then it seems like it would be an absolute given. But yeah, it's just, I was wondering where this came from because we did see it, it had trophies pop up. It was on the PlayStation Store before. So it's like with these,
I don't think it was. Yes, I don't remember ever seeing it on the PlayStation Store. It may have been, but it is. But here we go again. But it's. I feel much more confident this time. There's no reason for it not to be. Like I've said it before. Anyone who's making a VR game and not considering PSVR2 is out of their fucking mind, right? And this is the next logical headset for PokerStars VR to come to. And here it is on the PlayStation Store, listed with all these different PSVR2 tags and features and stuff like that. And of course, guys, I've heard some people say, "Oh man, I wish I liked poker. Why isn't this blackjack?" This thing got a blackjack update forever ago. And so there's a lot to do in Poker Stars. It was one of our favorite hangouts over on Quest. So between this and the announcement of Walkabout Mini Golf, AJ, I think PSVR 2 is going to be much more of a social hangout place than PSVR 1 ever was.
Well, that's where it needs help. I mean, honestly, PlayStation has always been my preference because it has the best single player adventures, single player games like RPGs, cinematic storytelling things. It's never been the best like multiplayer focused, social focused things. So stuff like this will certainly go a long way to help that. But yeah, I don't know. I'm not a big social multiplayer person. So great. It's cool. I do love poker though. I do love Texas Hold'em. I think there's more than just Hold'em, right? There's like blackjack too.
Where have you been? Did you tune out when I told people that there was a big blackjack update?
Oh, I must have.
I think you did.
But yeah, we're just not listening to each other this entire show. We're just off on our own planets right now.
That works. We have better things to do than listen to each other.
But yeah, man, yeah, it's fine. I don't think this is a huge deal, but it's great.
Okay. I was trying to find a Poker Stars trailer. There's one. Perfect.
Thing on.
I mean, I think it's a much bigger deal because of the amount of time that I spent in Poker Stars. I see some of the people in chat saying, this is one of Dave's favorite hangouts, and it was always a lot of fun getting in there with Betty and Dave and Tiff and just fucking all the cats, man. It's really, really good. And so, yeah, but I played a lot on Quest 1 and it would crash a lot on Quest 1. So I'm really, really happy that hopefully we're getting a nice solid one this time that we don't have to worry about crashing so much. Didn't happen as much on Quest 2.
Cool. I'll tell you what I am excited about.
Brian. Tell you what
I am as a multiplayer focused game that I am super duper excited about. That is Firewall Ultra. Did you hear the news?
I did. I hear over on the Unreal website they had some information for us, AJ.
Oh yeah.
What was that information, AJ? As I bring up the website.
Okay, well, as per the Unreal Engine website, Firewall Ultra has basically confirmed that they are using Unreal Engine 5. This comes from actually an interview that Unreal Engine did with First Contact Entertainment, and they said Firewall Zero Hour was a pioneer. We'll just read a couple clips from this real quick.
Sure.
Firewall Zero Hour was a pioneer of modern VR gaming. How does Firewall Ultra raise the bar? And First Contact Entertainment said Firewall Ultra is truly a next-gen VR title made possible by a combination of the hardware of the PSVR2 and Unreal Engine 5. The entire visual approach has been retooled with a focus on detailed real-time lighting, and all of the gameplay has been extensively refined to take advantage of the PSVR2 hardware. For example, there is extensive use of eye tracking in the game, sometimes in subtle ways to add detail and control to key interactions. So they do a whole long interview. It's actually a big page of great information. But yeah, basically confirms that Firewall Ultra is in fact using Unreal Engine 5. I don't remember what they used before. I don't know if they used maybe Unreal Engine 4.
No idea. This is the kind of stuff I kind of don't care about. Now, and I don't mean that like no one should care about it. I mean that like I don't care about it because all I care about is that when I get in the game, it looks great. Right. And then later somebody goes, oh, it's because it's Unreal Engine, or that's because it's, Unity, or that's because it's this or that. And I'm like, all right, cool. I'm just happy that it looks good. Like I'm a gamer, man. Like when it comes to tech behind the gaming, I'm like, whatever. Like just keep the good games coming. Make sure, keep them looking pretty, and I'm happy. There are people
that's what this kind of means.
But is it using nanite? Is it using lumen?
We didn't have to go that
Suck
far.
my dick.
All it does mean, Jesus, man. All it does mean is that it's gonna look good, Brian. It's gonna look pretty for you. That's what Firewall Ultra using Unreal 5 is. That better for you?
Whatever. I'm really happy for people who care about this stuff, right? And like anytime, even when Unreal Engine 5
I wasn't talking about all the technical details. All I said was that it uses Unreal Engine 5.
Yeah, I know. No, I remember when they unveiled it, and when we did the what was the Matrix demo that you could play on PlayStation 5, I was like, this looks incredible, and like anytime something that can actually blow you away, right? And like just because this is what this new engine is capable of, I'm like, cool. But very seldom, like that blew us away because it was a new engine on a brand new piece of hardware, right? And it's like, I guarantee you for the rest of this generation, I'm not going to care what engine any game is using. But that's just me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's going to look pretty, Brian. And going to use the nice, pretty PSVR2 features.
Nice.
And it's going to be great.
I'm very excited for all of that. Robert Lawrence in the chat says, do it! Lumen! Nanite! FTW!
Yes.
Make it all happen. Make it all happen. This is, obviously it's good news, man. Obviously it's good news.
Yeah.
Firewall Ultra is going to look amazing. Dude, the fact is, like, Pavlov, right? Pavlov looks amazing. And that team is obviously much smaller, and they didn't have the budget of somebody of like a Firewall team. Yeah. And so when we see Ultra, I think it's going to be really, really impressive. I think it's going to look great.
Yeah. Yeah, Ultra, obviously, we have pretty high expectations for this game based off of Firewall Zero Hour.
Yeah.
I still maintain that it's the best first-person shooter that was definitely on PSVR, possibly all of VR. I think the main competition that Firewall had and all of VR would probably be like Pavlov or Contractors or something, but they were definitely all up there in the runnings. A different style game, so I don't think Firewall and Pavlov are gonna cannibalize each other too much because they're completely different. That's like saying Call of Duty is exactly like Rainbow Six Siege, which they're not. Firewall is a tactical 4v4 team like based kind of shooter, while Pavlov is more of just like your traditional competitive first person shooter with like different game modes and stuff. And I love that they're offering something a little bit different here to kind of mix it up. But I'm super, super excited about Firewall Ultra. I spent so much time in Firewall Zero Hour, and really interested to see how they utilize all these features, because that's something I'm paying a lot to this gen is, how well the new features are implemented. And that certainly earns points in my book for every single game that uses them well.
I fucking love the chat, dude. You guys are cracking me up.
Yeah, they're the greatest.
Yeah, and I don't know. I don't think you were around for this, AJ. I found out recently that Firewall Ultra is going to be a much bigger game, I think, than anyone really anticipated. We kept referring to Firewall Ultra as kind of like a 1.5, not a full-fledged sequel. That does not seem to be the case. It is more of a sequel than I think anyone is prepared for, and that is very exciting to me. People say, "Oh, they're using the same contractors, they're using the same locations," but when you see the difference between the locations that you've already played and the locations that they're reusing, quote unquote, and the difference between the contractors who've all changed, I think everyone's going to go, damn, this is absolutely a different game.
I'm not getting too high or too low, Brian. I think there's going to be lots of similarities to the first game, but I think there's going to be lots of improvements and additional content as well. I mean, they basically already confirmed that. So I feel like I have a pretty good feeling about what to expect here.
Good. It's good to hear, man. It's good to hear. Yep. We don't want anybody to undersell. It could potentially be a great game. I don't know. All right, man. What else you got?
Man, just, having an absolute blast.
Yeah.
And using this headset. I'm completely in love with it. And it's just the beginning. And looking forward to, are you doing a review on the headset itself at some point?
Absolutely. Okay. 10 out of 10.
Yeah.
Just to piss people off, really. No.
I would, like you said, man, I'm getting back into reviews. The one exception is I'm not going to be reviewing No Man's Sky because I'm actually going to be helping you with that one.
Whoa. Let's be clear here. I'm paying you to do that one. You're not helping me.
well, okay. Well, but other than that, I'm
just gonna do it.
Resident Evil 7 or Resident Evil Village is going to be my first review. Nice. I know you've got Horizon review right around the corner, which I'm so excited to see what you do for that one. And then, want to review the headset. I got my tips and tricks videos coming back as well, which I'm super excited about. Dude, there's lots of stuff, man. There's lots of stuff going on. I mean, this is again, the first Monday. This is just the beginning of the next 4 or 5 years for us. So appreciate everybody just being patient and super supportive and awesome in the meantime, but things are going to get going here really soon and going to be awesome for the next couple of years.
And the Hunter in the chat says, what's the differences between Pavlov, Ghost of Tabor, and Crossfire? I'm going to be getting all three, also Firewall Ultra, and wonder what makes each game special. All right, man, listen, if you've played Firewall Zero Hour, you kind of already have an idea of how that's going to play. Surprises incoming, though. I will say that. Big surprises incoming. But Pavlov is just I mean, so far I've only played 3 of the different modes, and they're all super crazy fun. This is not what I expected Pavlov to be. Ghost of Tabor is all about base building, and it's like slow pace, super difficult. And Crossfire is a campaign that you can play co-op. It's not PvP, it's PvE, and you're going through the campaign with up to 3 other people. So I mean, like, you named 4 games that all seem like that they should be similar because they're first-person shooters. But I think you named 4 games that couldn't be any more different if they tried.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see. Obviously, Ghost of Tabor. I think it's got like some survival elements to it, right?
Yeah.
As well.
Yeah,
that's very interesting.
Watch the
Firewall
Perp
Squad,
Game Showcase. That's when they the Perp Game Showcase when
did a deep dive on that
with the game. One of the developers gets on camera and he has like this really deep voice and it doesn't look like it fits him, and it's just it's like you're immediately hypnotized. But he talks a lot about the game and how it plays. So I would say go check that out. It's really good.
Definitely want to check that out. I think Crossfire is the one. I hope it ends up being a little bit more to it than just like just a shooter, just running there. I mean, there's nothing wrong with just a pure shooter, but I typically like other elements, like throw in a strategy, throw in a survival, throw in something to make it a little bit more depth to it than just kind of just go through the game and just shooting. I mean, that's
sure, but right now we don't even have like a co-op first-person shooter, and so if that's all this ends up being, if like this is a co-op campaign and that's all it is, it's like, all right, man, like I'll take it because like we need that for as far as variety goes.
Yeah. Definitely looking forward to checking them all out. Yeah, I mean, we're not even done getting releases. Next month we're gonna have Switchback and Saints and Sinners Chapter 2. Right. Oh man, and then along the way we're gonna get new announcements. There's so much gonna be going on, and it's just really, really exciting, man. It feels good to finally be here after waiting so long, and couldn't ask to be in a better place for this right now to be happening, because I'm just having the time of my life, man.
Yeah, me too, man. This is I'm so happy to be here. I'm so happy to be to have PSVR2. I'm so happy that it lived up to all my expectations. I'm so happy that the games are delivering. The PSVR1 games, like I said at the beginning of the show, are like really, I feel like they're firing on all cylinders. Like this is absolutely crazy that I really thought that some of these games like Pistol Whip or After the Fall or Thumper or Tetris Effect, it was just going to be like, oh yeah, that's the game we played years ago, but now it's sharper, and it's so much more than that.
Makes such a difference, man. Dude, Synth Riders absolutely blew me away. I mean, shout out to everybody that was saying Synth Riders is like, incredible now. And I was like, yeah, I'm sure it's great. Like, you don't know until you play it. And then you're like, okay, holy shit, this is like really, really good. People are saying the same thing about Pistol Whip right now.
Yeah.
With the adaptive triggers and stuff, I haven't even played it yet. So like, I'm like, oh man, like I'm going to have to check that out at some point, because I love Pistol Whip as well. And just seeing the excitement around it, people are saying about Moss. Yeah, man, these upgrades are a pretty big deal. This is why I was excited about, as much as we wanted backwards compatibility and stuff, this is why I was excited about this happening, because you get this upgrade, you get something that is like, it still is like a next-gen experience, despite being a game that we may have played years ago. I've hardly even touched Song in the Smoke yet. Like, so many games. Loving Demio.
Yeah. I think we're gonna do some Demio tonight, honestly, because I have not played that yet on PSVR2. You can go play with yourself.
Can I come join? Can I join you?
Yeah, we'll get a game together.
I'll play it single player.
We'll get a game together over on Discord. We'll get a few people in there, and I'm sure there'll be a bunch of people who want to play. So maybe we can organize a few games over there. But yeah, I definitely want to play Demio, because I still haven't played that on PSVR2. I've only played that on Quest 2. Dude, I know this sounds silly, but Garden of the Sea, that was one of those games I was super excited to play. It's in the thumbnail. I still haven't played it. I've been talking to Orseek, the Gamecat over on voice chat on Discord, and he is close to platinuming it, or has platinumed it. He beat the game in like 5 or 6 hours, and then continued to play it for another 10 to platinum it. Like,
wow, that's short, huh?
Yeah, I mean, 15 hours to do everything.
What kind of Yeah.
Yeah, I was definitely hoping that there'd be like this. You know what? I haven't even picked it up. I haven't even like started it, so I don't want to say, oh, I wish it was this or I wish it was that because I haven't even played it. But dude, there's so many games that like I haven't even touched it. And I do want to say, real quick, when we were talking about Thumper earlier, guys, if you're playing with analog sticks, you're not going to feel this, but you can move your little beetle left and right on the track with the triggers instead of the analog sticks. And when you use the triggers and the beetle grinds up against the wall, it feels like metal on metal in the controller. I was like, wow. Like I was playing Thumper to drain the batteries in my Sense controllers before I charged them up again because I was just like, and man, the haptics in the headset for that game, when you nail that last beat, and you send off a shot to the boss or whatever it is, and your headset rumbles, like, dude, that, whew, man, you just find yourself in the zone so frequently in that game. It is unbelievable. Advisory Republic in the chat says Garden of the Sea is a crafty game. The story is 7 hours, but you keep finding new things beyond it. Yeah, like I said, Orseek seems like he's got at least 10 more hours in it after he beat the campaign. Alberto Mopalm, El Game Gato with the 65 Mexican peso says, quote unquote, reviewers. There are no games. Oh, he says reviewers say there are no games for PSVR 2. Actual reviewers say there's so many games we can't review them fast enough. Saludos, gatos.
Saludos. Yeah, I mean, you know, there was PSVR 2 honest reviews before it even came out, and before even reviewers got headsets. So there's a lot of garbage out there, a lot of clickbait stuff, a lot of YouTuber stuff. We one thing you can always count on from Bryan and I is, you know, we may not have the fastest content out, but we like to like thoroughly play everything. I mean, you'll start seeing stuff everywhere. But we like to make sure we play everything, really get to experience it ourselves first, and then come back and share it. So I think that's why people have always kind of liked, you know, our take on things, because how thorough we can be. I think it's really important too.
I thought it was just because of how attractive you are, AJ. You're mesmerizing.
No. What is this? Now you're being nice.
I mean, I don't want anybody out there to know how mean I really am. Like for every mean thing I say to you, I have to make up for it with some compliment, you know? Yeah. AJ, you know what time it is? It's time to play a little PSVR 20 questions. That's when AJ has a PSVR game, could be one or two, who the fuck knows, in his head, and then you guys out there have to really, really, really help me guess what game that is with 20 yes or no questions. It's PSVR 20 questions. That's why we call it that. Yes, I stole this from GameScoop. Sorry. All right, man. I'm gonna put the clock up on the clowner. Clowns, y'all. Clowns. And help me out with the good questions in the chat, you guys. On my mark. Get Des. Go. Did this game shit? I don't know how to start. Can you play this on PSVR 2?
You're AJing the fuck out of this already.
I am.
Yes, you can play this on PSVR 2.
Yes, you can play this on PSVR 2. Excellent. What is this, an update of a PSVR 1 game on PSVR 2?
This is not
a
PSVR update of a game on PSVR 2. Something.
All right, guys, we've narrowed it down to about 35 titles.
you have like 40 games to choose from.
All right, let's narrow it down even further.
Wait, no. Right.
Has this game been on, I don't know, like Quest 2?
Oh my God, I'm gonna have to Google that. I probably should have been ready for that. Has this game been on Quest 2?
Quest, yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So
according to Google.
So it's one of these games that was on Quest 2, not on PSVR 1, and came to PSVR 2. Okay. Can you play this multiplayer?
I don't think you can play this multiplayer. Okay. No, it is single player.
No multiplayer. Okay, we've got some good starts here. Ian Stanbridge in the chat says, does the game have puzzles in it?
I don't believe the game has puzzles in it.
Doesn't believe, you
That's
guys.
5.
Doesn't believe. No, Rody, it's not The Last Clockwinder because there's no puzzles. Hector Robles says, is it a horror? Do we want to ask about
Which I played The Last Clockwinder Saturday, by the way. And because Twitcher picked it, and it was fun for about 5 minutes, and then I started immediately getting bored. So I don't know how that one's going to be. I need to go back to it, but I started to get bored really fast with that.
Man, you guys are not helping out very much here in the chat. Does this game have full locomotion?
This game does not have full locomotion.
All right, Josh, we're going down your track here. Does this game have zombies in it?
I don't think this game has zombies in it.
All right, I guess that would eliminate Zombieland.
I played about 5-10 minutes of that too. Seems pretty okay.
Pretty okay. That's what we're going for.
More excited about Switchback.
Is this music based, rhythm based, anything like that?
This is music based, rhythm based.
Are you and I both dreading having to play this game?
No.
It's not Kazuna AI, you guys.
It's not Kazuna AI.
Okay, it's not. So let's see. We're down to Tetris Effect.
I'm not dreading
Res.
playing Kazuna. I am avoiding playing Kazuna as much as possible.
Okay, it can't be Tetris Effect because that is a puzzle game. So that wouldn't work. It could be Res, right? It can't be Synth Riders because that has multiplayer. It can't be Beat Saber because that's not out yet. And Res was on PSVR1, so that's out of the question. Ooh. Okay, there's two different ones in the chat people are pointing to. Both of them have the word rock in it. Does this game have the word rock in the title?
This game does have the word rock in the title.
All right, you guys. It's either Drums Rock or Ragnarok. Are you
playing on something?
Yeah, I mean,
ask it. Ask it.
Are you on a Viking ship in this game?
You are not on a Viking ship in this game.
All right, guys. I'm just gonna go for it. Could this possibly be Drums Rock?
With 12 questions asked, I am defeated. It is, in fact, Drums Rock.
You know how many people are saying how much fun they're having with this game?
Dude, I tried to tell you it doesn't look as bad like as I think you were saying.
And have you played it?
I played it last night.
Now that you've played it, talk to me.
It's not as bad as you were saying it was going to be.
No, I didn't say, dude. I didn't say it was going to be bad. I said I'm just tired. I know because it's in it. It has nothing to do with how I thought the game was going to be. I was not excited to play it because I was like, man, I'm just sick of this same old rock band style of rhythm game.
It is like that. It's okay. Like okay. Well, let me not. So I didn't play a lot of it.
Yeah.
Let me make that very, very clear.
Okay.
I played this last night, and I played Unplugged air guitar last night because I was in just like a rock and roll mood. And when I played this, I was like, okay, like this is actually kind of cool. It seems like. I think one of my only gripes maybe is like it's like covers of songs, and there's not a wide range of music selection. But the style of it, the mechanics of it are pretty good. I mean, it's a pretty neat little game. I don't like the price point of it.
How much does it go for?
$20.
Okay.
I think this is very potentially a wait for a sale kind of game. But I don't think it's terrible at all. Like,
that's what we're going for. It's not terrible.
It's got some cool mechanics to it. You know, the demons flying at you, and you got to like time it. It's think of kind of like Demo, but with drumsticks. Where like the stuff like, and it's instead of notes coming at you, it's demons coming at you. That's kind of how it plays. So it's the Rock Band Guitar Hero thing. But it's okay. It's got some charm. It's polished. Like it's actually very, very polished. It's not as cheap and crappy as you would think it is. Some of the backgrounds look nice. Good. But I will say I played the other music game, air guitar, Unplugged, whatever, and the music selection in that so far, is awesome.
Nice. How does it feel to play air guitar in VR?
It feels okay. Like it actually feels pretty good. It's I think you're gonna hate this game's
What?
narration because
Oh,
there's like this like they've got this like rock star dude
yeah.
and he's like an 80s rock star dude and he's like making jokes, trying to be funny and saying all this like stuff and I'm just like, oh man, like I actually thought about you because I was like Brian's gonna hate this guy so
No,
much.
not
And,
Satchel from Steel Panther.
um
No.
it feels pretty good though. I definitely think by far Unplugged is probably going to end up being the better game. But yeah, it was playing like I was like playing some Tenacious D, and it was super cool. They were playing Roadie, it was making me remind me of Roadie. But yeah, some great songs on that Unplugged guitar guitar game so far. But still, I don't know how much it is, but you know,
Yeah.
it's like still like kind of like the.
I just want a multiplayer rock band where 4 of us can all be on stage together playing different instruments in front of a crowd and like just working together, man. Like this all seems like it's almost the thing we want. But they got to kind of put these things together into one big game, and then I'll be happy. But it is very, very good to hear that these things are better than I thought they would be. Very good.
Yeah, they're not bad.
Nice.
It's just kind of hard to like care about them when I haven't even gone through like Gran Turismo Horizon and when I'm not even done with those yet. It's like, yeah, these are cool and all, but it's like I got some time before I really want to get into them.
Hell yeah. All right, man. Well, 2-hour show. It's been a 2-hour show. So thanks everybody who hung out for the duration. It's funny. Wes is in the chat. He says, "You got a new box quote. Drums rock. It's not as crappy as you think it is." Which apparently is fine. Is fine. People really like when you say not shitty things about their game. If you guys remember this from Box VR, the dude made a poster.
What did I say?
Put this everywhere. I was actually pleasantly surprised. I thought it was going to be trash. AJ from PSVR Underground. People like when you say really crappy things about their game, and then as it turns out, you like it.
Yeah. You've turned me into a much better critic than I used to be. I used to like everything.
Jamie out with the $2 tip says, everybody buy Gran Turismo 7 VR. It's the best game ever. I do agree, man. Like, it would be number 1 on my list right now, but I do need to, hopefully I get into Resident Evil Village tomorrow and experience way more of that. Don't forget to tune in to the channel tomorrow, because as long as nothing crazy happens tomorrow morning, that's my plan, is to jump into that, hopefully get at least 3 or 4 hours under my belt to get make a good dent in that game, and hopefully also by then I'll have my Horizon review out on the channel. So a lot of good stuff coming.
Yep, I'm working on. I'll be doing more live streams, and then I'm working on a headset review and Resident Evil Village review.
Nice, and of course a No Man's Sky review.
Yes, I have started on that.
Mm-hmm.
You will be happy to know I have started on it. Oh, now that you mention it, before we get out of here, I did say that No Man's Sky was like one of the most was like really disappointing at launch.
Yeah.
I have to take that back a little bit. It definitely has some blur here and there, but I think I actually was not used to using VR2 and maybe didn't have the sweet spot, because when I was looking at it, it was terrible. Well, I spent like a good hour with it last night, and it was much better. And it actually has a lot of improvements that the PSVR version on PS5 didn't have. Lots of little particle effects things here and there. It's not perfect. It does have some graphical things about it. It's not completely clear. It's not as next gen as I was hoping, but it is pretty good, especially if you weren't playing the PS5 version or never played it before. It's a lot better than it's actually better than what I had said previously. So good news there.
You're enjoying it.
I am enjoying it for
Good.
sure.
It's very good to hear. I'm very happy to hear that.
Mm-hmm.
All right, you guys, let's get out of here. Guys, don't forget to come join us over on Discord where these conversations happen 24/7. Also, thank you to everybody who is a new member of the channel. Thank you to everybody who supports us on patreon.com/withoutparole-games. Thank you to everybody who participated in the chat. Help me out with 20 questions. Definitely needed it tonight. Thank you very much. And of course, everybody who sits back and watches the show, doesn't say a goddamn word. We know you're out there, and we love you just as much. Let's get out of here, AJ.
See y'all. Cat.
Oh, guess not.
Did you already end it?
No, we're doing the normal outro. And we're talking over it too, which is fun.
Sorry.
I mean, we can cue the cat. I don't know, dude. Hold on. Cue the cat.
Cue the cat, Brian, because it's Monday, and I gotta say happy PSVR2 launch to everybody. To Mark, you the Gamecat Dojo co-leader, Flame at the Gamecat, RG, peace out to you, homie. IN7, thank you. Nick Mulo, the Gamecat, thank you for moderating. Jason Voorhees in the chat tonight. Everybody be careful. Der Schnuff, Bob Zarkov, the Underground Gamecat Elite Name Squad in the house. God damn it, God, he made me say that. That's his name. I would never say that. Indie Soul, Elvert, Tech Lightning, Alexander, MGS5, Rody the Gamecat in the house tonight. Twitcher, the single player Gamecat, Dan Kiefer. So many of you guys, wonderful, wonderful people, my favorite people in the world. What up, Wes? Good to see you, homie. Got to hook up with some multiplayer soon. Kramer 3K, the non-VR Gamecat. Now is the time to get back in. Snapu, Gecko Man 11, the Gamecat elite member squad in the house. Steve Irie, Stupid Ducky, Money Potter, Mark Pringles Leaf, Jason Sellers. Bye.
Jason Sellers? Did you say Jason fucking Sellers?
I did say Jason.
Whoa, dude, I haven't seen Jason Sellers in like 19 years. It's been like 5, maybe like 3 or 4 years. Welcome back, Jay.
Love you guys. We'll see you on Discord. Join our Discord.
We're not. We haven't made it to the title screen yet.
Oh, Mako XL, Christian. How long is the outro?
It's way longer when you do the other one first.
Did you start it like, oh, this is just a train wreck.
Dude, every show's a train wreck. Oh my god. Oh, there it is. Is PlayStation VR2 living up to the hype? Our favorite game wait, which is our favorite game so far?
Resident Evil Village.
There you go. We didn't lie to you with the thumbnail. How's that?
Yep.
You know what's really good, AJ?
What's that?
Fritos. Scoops,
What's
the big
your
ones.
favorite game so far?
Oh.
I can't eat that crap.
You can't eat.
I do miss Fritos, especially putting Fritos in like chili.
These are the big ones. These are the party size. The scoops. These are the big and like extra textury. And I don't need to put them in anything. I've got French onion dip in the fridge, but man, just the chips alone. I was crunching on them in Discord, and I was like, oh, I should mute myself because I'm crunching away. And everyone said they really enjoyed the ASMR and didn't want me to mute myself.
Oh yeah, I could see that being satisfying.
Would you like an example of that, AJ?
I would like a demonstration.
Okay,
please.
demonstration incoming.
Let's
Cheetah,
see
Fritos.
if this lives up to the hype.
Fritos going
Screw
in the
PSVR
mouth.
too. No, okay, don't make those other noises. Yeah. Yeah, no, I could get into this.
They're so good, man.
Okay, stop talking. It's a lot better when you're not talking. Just back to crunching, please.